oh boy, did I piss off Warhammer fans. I expected to, trust me. I did not anticipate that the average Warhammer player in 2024 would be just as dumb as they were like 6 years ago when I finally decided I'd had enough of GW fucking everybody over, and honestly, shouldn't have surprised me. But you know what, it did. So, because I did a bad job of articulating the exact problems with Space Marine 2 as a product, I did not review the game, mind you. I didn't say a word about the gameplay. I didn't say a word about, any specific thing about the game. I just said the game has these very bad consumer practices, and as such, I don't think people should buy this game. And I said, pretty clearly, the fan base is kind of not doing a good job of voting with their wallets and shutting down bad practices. So this time, I made a PowerPoint presentation because I'm a fucking nerd. This is what I do. I make PowerPoints to highlight my points for me so I don't have to pretend like this is scripted. Because again, it's not. To clear up one thing, this is a very expensive microphone. If you hear the fans in the background, fuck you. I do it for you. I make these intentionally as bad as possible by basically ramming the microphone directly into my mouth, so you have to hear every goddamn lip smack I make. Eat my whole ass. Unless you don't care, in which case you're in the fraction of people who get mad at me and don't. You are a blessed weird person. I don't know if you're a man, I don't know if you're a woman, I don't know if you're a dog, and I don't care. But you cannot argue that the statements I'm making are false or just brush them aside because you like the game. These are objectively bad things, and we should stop pretending they aren't. So let's, stop with the telling you, oh, this, and this is what's gonna happen, and get to, it's happening. So, there we go. Holy shit, it fucking worked. Didn't expect that. Let's just go into the first major issue that I wanted to discuss. Forced online. When I said the game has forced online, I did not mean you literally cannot at all play the game offline. I was very clear that that was not exclusively the case, but the game is a live service game. That top section there, where I very clearly copied, just literally pasted that shit directly onto here, comes directly from Saber Interactive's Q&A website about the game. If you read it, and I'm not going to bother, but I'll summarize it, your progression will be saved in campaign mode, but not in any other mode. Now, to me, that's called forced online. You cannot play all of the content offline fully to maximum extent. That's an issue, and I'm tired of pretending it isn't. That other part right there comes from a Reddit thread, apparently 3 days ago as of right now, and I put a timestamp from Google showing, hey, today is this date. That's the date of recording, so you can see 3 days ago was after launch. Now, I fucking hate Reddit. But the fact that this man had the balls to go on Reddit and say, what the fuck is wrong with this? That's some balls, considering Warhammer fans online are raging retards. So, whew, good on you, bud. Good on you. You are definitely just as dumb as I am for having the balls to do it. But, in summation there, that's forced online. That's not optional. Yes, it's playable, but when you lose half the features, or you just outright can't do half the things, that's not okay. And I'm not going to lie and pretend it is. It's scummy, and it leads into worse issues down the road. Now we have the Steam reviews are unhelpful line. When I said choke reviews are disgusting, stop doing them, they inflate the score, and Valve knows it's a problem, yes, if you look on the right, we see, Valve acknowledges, well, these are bad, these aren't helping anybody, we're going to let you do them. I disagree with that. I think they should just straight up be deleted instantly. If it is not a review of the game, it shouldn't go in the review section, personally. That's my opinion on it. And I also believe that we need a informative category, as I mentioned, because if curators get informative, positive, or negative, why, as a consumer, can I only pick positive or negative? Is it because of that bar that you have up there where it just says, oh, overwhelmingly positive or very positive, and you give it a percentage rating? Is it because you couldn't find a way to factor out the informative ones? Is it because games would get a lot of informative reviews if they're bad? Is that it, Valve? But we don't need to get into that. As you can see on the left side here, we see examples of what I was saying and what Valve is referring to as completely unhelpful joke reviews and in-jokes within the community. These are exactly what I'm talking about. And admittedly, in that previous video, I did say that there was a lot of people who just brushed over the issues of the game. It's still true, and you can look for yourself, but the game has an 80% rating. And that 80% positive is overwhelmingly people either making joke reviews or just straight up ignoring the flaws, which I fucking hate. And it really irks me that this is such an issue that even Valve is acknowledging it. But whatever. It's not the end of the world, but it's not good when a game does that, and it has fans who are raving retards, as I like to refer to them. So, moving on from that, Buggy Online. I did not have good pictures to represent this, so I just didn't bother. I couldn't come up with something. I thought about, maybe I'll just like put up the old school Call of Duty, disconnected logo and make a joke or something, but I didn't. It didn't seem funny, and it was funny in my head for 3 seconds, and then I thought about it. I'm glad I did, because I didn't think it was good after that. But basically, a lot of people mentioned, man, I can't even connect. I can't play with people. There's a bunch of AFK servers. People are just sitting in lobbies and fucking around with the cosmetics and yada, yada, yada. And that's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, like, that happens in every game. But it's pretty bad when matchmaking isn't working properly, and a lot of lobbies are that. Like, Now, my opinions on why that happened vary sometimes. In this case, I blamed the game's instantaneous popularity, which I blame predominantly on Helldivers 2 fucking everything up so horribly that this game stole their player base. Which, if you heard me laugh, it's because it's funny. I don't care what anybody says. Laughing at Sony's failures is just brings joy in ways I can't describe. But, effectively, my issue there boils down to this was an issue in the advanced access, and oh boy, it is apparently still an issue. Which, for a live service game, that's suffice it to say, that's not great. But we'll be moving on. Stealth Epic Online Services installations. Still, and I cannot stress this enough, fully undisclosed that it will be doing this. Now, on the left, we see where it says requires an agreement to a third-party EULA. I would like to inform you that that is not the Epic installation EULA. It does not tell you that's what it's doing. That's just, this game has a EULA. A lot of games do that. It's weird that it doesn't mention, that shit. But as we can see on the right side here, a lot of reviews have mentioned it. I took a handful of them where they mentioned it. And noteworthy, that really big, huge, fucking mile-long block on the bottom right even tells you how to uninstall it, and outright mentions how the game yells at you violently for doing so. I'm sorry, but a lot of people don't like Epic because they're scummy and shady, and they fucking shove this Epic Online Services into games all the fucking time. And it's weird that other companies don't necessarily do that. Like, sure, I'm not a big fan of Denuvo, I don't know, however you want to say it. Whatever. Don't give a shit. I don't like them. Doesn't mean, it's the end of the world that they're there. But 90% of the time, at least it's disclosed. Because as we see on that left-hand bottom corner, That's once again from Saber Interactive's Q&A spot on their website. Weird how it talks about crossplay, but does not tell you where that is functioning or in how, in what capacity, how it gets put on there. Weird that they don't even disclose it on their website, yet they name drop Epic outright, and then they don't disclose it there. Funny, isn't it? Because a lot of people were mad about that, and weird enough, not even all of the negative reviews even bring it up, which, that's frankly concerning. The number of people who just don't care about getting Eula roofied. It's weird. I don't like it. Stop it. No more of that, please. Dear God. Then we have what I like to call Seasons Pass problem. Now, Season Passes, I don't even think they're okay in free-to-play games. Find a better business model. Stop it. So when a game charges me $40 for a fuck ton of cosmetics, I have a problem with that. Big ass problem. So when I, say this is an issue that shouldn't even exist in free-to-play games, my issue mainly is that it's scummy. It's underhanded. The game is 6 hours long. They say on their website it's about 10 to 12 hours long, but that is not what How Long to Beat says. And admittedly, I should have put a picture of that, but they say less than 10 hours. They said like 8. And I think that was on the high end for, the average person is going to, get 8 hours out of the story. Oh, that's a solid 2 to 4 hours less than, what Saber Interactive thinks, because it's a live service game. And that's what it is. I'm not going to pretend it isn't when you have a Seasons Pass that is entirely cosmetic based that you have to grind for anyway, and it's a bunch of shit that looks like it should have been in the base game. So, that's weird. It's pretty fucking strange for a paid game to, use a free-to-play business strategy. Not a fan of that. And honestly, I wish it wasn't a thing. But I can't do anything about it. I can bitch about it, but doesn't mean everybody's going to listen to me. And to wrap this all up nice and easily, it's a B- of a game with a raving fucking retard fan base. And I'm sorry, but Warhammer fans, you piss me off. You don't take negative criticism about your hobby, and you call everyone woke if they don't fucking like it. While Games Workshop actively makes female Space Marines a thing. And you just kind of don't acknowledge it. And then the ones that you do, you get mad at, and you say, how dare you be anti-woke, and it's God the hoops you jump through. This is why I'm not a part of this community. Oh my God, you are all so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, but 80% is a B. Alright, that's not negotiable, that's a B. And that's a B-, technically. That's the lowest you can get and still be a B before you're a C. And, frankly, that's, B's get degrees, but, that's not a good thing. You shouldn't treat it like it is. But, whatever. And as you can see on the right, I prove, that's an 80%. That's a B. And on the left there, multiple people could not handle me criticizing the business practices of this game, and they assumed I must be woke. You'll note that multiple times in this video, and in a lot of my videos, I say, fuck, faggot, retard, and I shit all over transsexuals, and I have a video where I explicitly say, not a fan of how China released a bioweapon in 2019 in the form of SARS. And I'm pretty sure all of that is the exact opposite of woke. But apparently because I had the audacity to come out here and say, these business practices are fucking awful, and these are indicative of bad trends in gaming. Can we stop putting them in games and pretending it's okay? Apparently, that makes me woke for demanding that gaming as a hobby stop getting fucking worse. You'll note, I still have not commented on the gameplay of Space Marine 2, and I'm never going to, because I don't think it's relevant to the point I'm making. if I ever do decide to comment on it, it won't be in a conversation about the issues with the gaming industry that Space Marine 2 has. To be clear, this is not a review of the game. This is a criticism of Saber Interactive, Games Workshop, and Focus Entertainment deciding to use underhanded and shady business practices. If wanting better makes me woke, then holy fucking shit, I guess the caffeine intake that I have has kept me straight up from sleeping for the rest of human fucking, existence, because holy shit, I am awake as can be. My third eye, bruh. I'm fucking Ten Shinhan out here with that shit. Irrelevant, though, because, frankly, I do not value the opinions of anyone who is willing to try and convince me that I am a bootlicker of, the games industry for criticizing the games industry, and how I must be woke for not liking bad business practices and for calling out, this game for having those bad business practices, and checks fucking notes, not thinking the game has enough cutscenes. Bitch, what? Like, what the fuck? Why is this a conversation? Honestly. In conclusion here, getting this all perfectly wrapped up in a bow, I don't think these are good practices. It upsets me deeply that we are apparently just ignoring them for the most part and drowning out criticism by yelling at people, because, if you're gonna call somebody woke, maybe don't use Nazi tactics, because, I seem to remember Antifa doing this a lot, and, these are just black bloc tactics that they've been using, so, I mean, yeah, okay, I'm the woke one. Yep. That checks out. Yep.